official automotive partner of the NBA. Visit kia.com to learn more.
Raptors won in Miami Sunday without Kawhi Leonard. He was back in the lineup as they took to Cleveland, so things lining up for a Raptors team that's been a little up and down here the last couple of weeks. Leonard had 25 on the night, but Cleveland's played better over the last 2 weeks. Colin Sexton for 3. He had 28 guys.
Really interesting how the core teams record-wise start to play a little better as you get to this part of the season.
Sexton, 4 of 7 from the great beyond in this game. And then it's Kevin Love who went for 16 and 18 boards.
Kevin's been fantastic since coming back from the injury, and this whole Cavaliers team has responded very well to his presence.
Cavs led by as many as 27, and then things get really ugly in the third quarter. Long pass goes out of bounds. Marquese, Chris, and Ibaka are tangled up, and then Serge kind of stalks Chris from behind, grabs him by the neck, and starts throwing punches. Don't know what led up to this, but both players obviously ejected for fighting.
There has to be some history here that we don't know about.
There was a little bit of physicality earlier in the game between the two players, but nothing to suggest that this was coming. And obviously both done for the night. The game all but done, but not quite. We're running. Kevin Love, one of his classic outlet passes. Cedi Osman on the back end of it made it a 20-point game. Cleveland wins it by 25. And Toronto falls to 4-4 in their last eight games. Cavaliers improved to 5-4. Afterward, Nick Nurse trying to make sense of the altercation.
Yeah, we threw the long pass, and I just saw them get tangled up down there. And obviously, Serge went down on the pass. So I didn't see what happened from there. I was kind of looking back to see, I thought the ball was going to come back this way, and I was trying to look at the defense and get that set and all that stuff. And then I looked down and I saw him underneath the basket after my next look, so I didn't see much of it, to be honest. It's always going to be concerning. We don't certainly want that in the game, right? And it's going to cost him a game. Probably, right? It usually does when there's a altercation like that, and we don't want that. We don't want to lose one of our guys for incidences like that. So, whether it's Serge or anybody.
About what you'd expect from Nick Nurse. It's funny how coaches never really see the incident.
Some incidents
during the game. It's selective sort of vision.
Everything that happens with the players you see, and in these situations,
you don't see well at all.
Not so much.
It's hard to make sense of this without context, like what may have led up to it, but clearly the league is going to frown on this, and surely suspensions are coming, particularly for Ibaka.
I'm wondering if right here Marquese Chris says something to Ibaka while he's down to set that in motion, because that was an incredibly heated response from Ibaka. And neither one of these guys, this is not their traditional hold me back, hide behind someone else NBA fight. Both of these guys were ready to rumble for real, Derek.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that guy in the background is going to be an instant meme, by the way. There's a guy in the background holding a coffee mug. His face, absolutely priceless, because you don't see that in an NBA game.
No, you do not see that anymore. And there he is,
right there. How good is that?
Blown away. What's the emoji where the brain is just exploding at the top? That's him.
Yeah.
Well, and it just doesn't happen in the NBA. It used to be far more commonplace because there were things within a game that got progressively more physical, and you sort of knew when the lid was going to blow off. In that particular instance, you really don't know unless it was something that was said to him on the ground.
Interesting, probably a more physical game. We saw the Thunder and Jazz in Salt Lake on Monday night, fourth and final meeting between those two. No real fisticuffs, but man, bodies were flying all night long in Salt Lake. OKC gets off to a hot start. Russell Westbrook backing his man down. Just a little step back. And then Paul George off the screen. Step back of his own. We're inbounding. It's the big fella, Steven Adams. And then Paul George, always with the quick hand, sets up Jeremy Grant for the dunk. George, 14 points, 11 boards, 3 steals, and OKC with a 13-point halftime lead. Third quarter, here comes Utah. Rudy Gobert inside. Donovan Mitchell drives. And how good a pickup has Dennis Schroeder been for this team?
It's been a great pickup, Matt. A guy that's comfortable scoring points and really running the team during the stretches of the game. If Westbrook's off the court, having a third primary scorer like Schroeder's been a great thing for OKC.
He had 13 in the third quarter, 24 for the game. Donovan Mitchell just losing Nerlens Noel here. Smitty.
Yeah. Thank you, Smitty.
Yeah. And then Mitchell all the way to the rim and the big finish. He had 25, but they're still trailing by 8. Russell Westbrook had an interesting night, productive on the floor. Also got into it with some fans who were issued warnings by team personnel for their conduct in that back and forth with Russ, who finished with 23 points, 11 boards, and 8 assists. OKC gets the 4-game sweep and finished their road swing 3-1. Utah shot just 36% on the night.
Any player that saves you $70 million in salary and cap in a trade is a good player. When that player can play fourth quarter minutes on a playoff team like Dennis Schroeder is, it's a really, really big get. People don't talk enough about Sam Presti and the work he did this season in terms of executive of the year. He made his team infinitely more affordable and radically better and deeper in the series of moves he made throughout this year.
Sort of colossal how much money was shed over the last 12 months by OKC. Up next, the Nets threw themselves a going-away party ahead of their longest trip of the year.